Sarah, thank you so much for inviting me to your favourite bar, which is the Wasdale Head Inn in the Lake District.
That's right, Gary, absolutely. And I've even brought the little dog with me, as you can see behind me.
I saw that. I've never been to the Lake District. In fact, I'm not sure I would know much about the geography of England at all if it wasn't for professional soccer with the team where they are.
Yeah, there's no good team in the Lake District.
Is there not?
Well, you couldn't get a football pitch that was level in the Lake District, could you, really? Because it's all mountains.
Is there, I'm no rocket scientist, but there's probably a suggestion of the Lake District is a sort of giveaway for the terrain.
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of, I guess it's glaciated, go back to my geography O level now, glaciated mountains and lakes and things like that. But yeah, it's very hilly. The highest mountain in England is in the Lake District, Scafell Pike. Wow. And a whole load of other fabulous climbs like Helvellyn and so forth.
And is that the reason why you're drawn to the area, and then subsequently you get very thirsty, and that's why you go to your favorite bar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or give or take that the reason why it is your favorite bar?
Yeah, look, as a family, we've always been sort of outdoorsy, hiking, walking, holidays in Snowdonia, Lake District, climbing Carrantall if I'm feeling energetic. And this particular one's got great memories for me, because we've been to the Lake District loads and loads of times, but there was one time that really stuck in my head. And it was when, as a family with 3 young boys, they're all sort of under the age of 10, it was like, what should we do on Christmas Day? I know, we'll climb Scafell Pike. Obvious. What does anybody want to do on Christmas Day?
What you do?
So we set off very, very early, and it was a terrible day weather-wise. The cloud was down, it was freezing cold, the stones were slippery. Mother, me, slowest member of the family, stuck at the back the whole time. My littlest boy did stay with me though. He held my hand and said, Mum, I'll walk with you. So that was great.
This is a lovely story. Should we have music? Should we have background music?
Yeah, violin. But we got to the top, and you couldn't see a hand in front of your face, but there's a great big sort of cairn of rocks on the top, so you got there. Yeah, you touch the rock and go, great, we can go back down again now, thank God for that. Tripped off down. The downwards is much better, much easier. And Christmas Day, look, Wasdale Head is a long valley. It's probably 20 minutes drive from the nearest house, let alone the nearest town or the village. And it was like, there's this lovely pub at the head of the valley. They've got 2 or 3 rooms that they rent out, and there's another bit that's sort of like a not quite camping, sort of hostel-y bit, but it's there for the walkers completely.
Yeah,
beautiful people run the pub, really lovely people run the pub. But we were coming back down, I was going, Christmas Day, I hope they're open, because they might not be open. What do they want to be doing on Christmas Day?
Yes, somebody didn't do a risk assessment of this.
No, we didn't really. We didn't plan it very well, but they were open, thank God.
Oh my goodness.
Christmas dinner, they only had one thing on the menu, so we all had the best tasting sausage and mash I've ever had. It was fantastic.
The best Christmas dinner ever.
Yeah, it was great.
Because it's
fine sausage and mash, it was warm, the fire was lit. What more could you want?
Isn't that what?
And I didn't have to cook it.
Well, that's probably the best bit.
Yeah, so that's why it's my favourite pub.
So hunger was the best sauce in that case.
Yeah, it always tastes better.
Turkey is so overrated anyway. Bit of sausage.
And they're great sausages, Cumberland sausages. They're really
Cumberland sausages. Jesus, we're getting right down into it now, aren't we? Marvelous. So let's say we cozied up, right? And I'm thinking this is sort of like the land that time forgot. This particular room, it's it's got that sort of.
It's very traditional, very, very traditional. It's the sort of place you come in with muddy boots and your dogs and dripping coats, and nobody really worries because there's no carpets or anything to worry about. So it's very much come as you are.
Jesus, it's like Emmerdale Farm. This is like an episode in Emmerdale Farm,
Yeah, possibly.
I have been everywhere.
Emmerdale.
No, I only know. Mother used to. Few decades ago. So you're going to cozy up to me over there, social distancing or if we have to do that anymore, I'm not sure. Give us a quote. What's your favorite quote if you have one?
Well, look, having spoken about my kids, they are a big, big part of my life. And my favorite quote is from a lovely little book. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this.
Oh, yeah.
It's The Prophet by Cathal Gibran. Now, he is of a different religious persuasion, not quite sure what, but he's got a quote for every event in your life. And I really recommend anybody to have a look out for this book,
Yeah.
But the one that I want to just read to you is about children. And the quote is, "You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth." And to me, motherhood is a lesson in rejection from the minute you give birth and they reject your body to when all they want is money after you, like walking wallet on
Milk
legs.
and money. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it's just a lesson in rejection from the word go.
Yeah.
And so I think that to visualize that as a bow and arrow actually makes you feel like you have got some use in their upbringing. And it goes on to talk about how the bow must be the steadying part of it and the sturdy sort of immovable bit for the arrow to weave its way. And, I think that is the role as parents, to try and be that constant in your kids' lives and give them the confidence to fly, to be independent and stop being so dependent on the bank of mum and dad, hopefully. But, I'm yet to see that one happen.
Yes, that's an interesting one. The zeros just increase as their ages go up, the more zeros. But sometimes, and we spoke previously, we seem to have a parallel on ages of our children.
Yeah.
And you're so right. An analogy often helps you to realize at moments. But it's interesting you say bow and arrow. I am more aligned with a boomerang.
Yeah, there probably is a bit of that. Yeah.
Because they'll go away.
Yeah, and they keep coming back.
For certain numbers of years at different ages, whether it be 13 and you're just not cool anymore. And then you seem to come back around 60,
Yeah, they come back around and smack you in the face then.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. But would you be without them? No.
God, no.
I bet you know all Post Malone songs still. I bet you're still current. You know all the dates of Ed Sheeran and Niall Horan and all these different,
Pre-lockdown, I was due to go to the Isle of Wight festival that obviously was cancelled. And when my oldest heard, he said, Mum, you can't do that. You're just so embarrassing. I think I can.
Yeah. Get a real arrow and apply it. That's what you should do. So we're sitting there and the door opens, and who would you love to be there standing, apart from me, dead or alive, to be joining us for a pint?
Well, look, I agonized over this because where do you start? But again, going back to the location that we're in, stuck in the mountains in northern England, I thought George Mallory.
Mallory, okay.
The place George Mallory, 1920s, he led an expedition to Everest. And him and Sandy Irvine attempted the summit. They were lost somewhere, either on the way up or on the way down. We will never know. And to have a moment in time with George Mallory, to go to talk to him about his experiences, to find out whether they did get to the top. Did they make it? Nobody knows. And to just be able to share with him what's happening on Everest now. And I'm sure he'd be horror-struck by the amount of debris that's left behind, by the commerciality of the whole sort of, if you've got enough money, we'll get you to the top of Everest.
Yeah.
But also to see the difference in equipment. He would have been hiking in woolen socks, tweed jackets. The food would have been just whatever they could carry themselves. There'd been no dried food or anything like that. No oxygen.
Yeah.
Leather boots. You look at what the people are taking up there now and the kit that they've got. It's like space age to somebody from his era. And you've got to think that it took another 30 years before Edmund Hillary managed to summit Everest. And he and Sandy Irvine, if nothing, they got to within 2 hours of the summit. Or
Wow.
did they get to the top and there are 2 hours on the way back down? We'll never know.
There's
I
words
just think that's fascinating.
There's words used too regularly, like pioneers and pathfinders and all the rest today. Yeah.
Mm.
And those dudes who genuinely didn't have a clue what was ahead of them, or instinct.
They had no maps, nothing to guide them.
Nothing to guide. They were
keep going up.
They were the real deal.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that would be very humbling to have a good chat with George Mallory.
Yeah, we had a discussion only yesterday, with somebody who's big into the Apollo space program in the 60s, and you talk about pioneers. I mean, those lads really, like your
well, no, at least they had their feet on the ground.
Yeah, but there was some sense. There was a great sense that yeah, we're fine. There was massive black spots in the whole journey, and the risks that they were taking. But again, probably like the Everest guys, there was a sense of conviction, and there was a sense of it's important, and the learnings, unfortunately, sometimes from failure as much as success. But that was very deep. We went into family, we went up to Everest, we came back again. We probably would have a few more drinks, but the sausages.
Yeah,
gotta
have the sausages.
I'm gonna look forward to that later. So Sarah, it's been short and sharp, but it's been lovely.
No, it's been great, thank you. And I'm delighted to welcome you to my favourite pub.
And I'm delighted to welcome you to the Executive Council of Host in Ireland this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Really, really good. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.